So what we're going to do now is take a look at our quadrantal angles and see how sine, cosine, and tangent fit in using our ratios that we just talked about. Quadrantal ones are the easy ones, and I'll explain why. First of all, quadrantal angles literally live on the unit circle on the axes. So that means that because it's on the unit circle, that means that we will be using radius equal to 1. So the r is 1 because it is on the unit circle. So for quadrantal ones, we always use the radius equal to 1. Now, all we have to do is take a look at our quadrantal angles and develop what sine, cosine, and tangent are for these 4 or 5 points, depending on how you look at them. The first one we're going to do is the sine function. So, well, we'll start with the degrees first, I guess. That's a good place to start. So for the degrees, we're going to go 0 degrees up here, 90 degrees here, 180 over here, 270 down here, and 360 right here. Okay, so I can ask you, and I'll be able to ask you, what's the sine of 90 degrees? And just by looking, you'll be able to tell me. And this is how we do it. Sine of theta, like we talked about in the previous slide, is y divided by r. All I have to do is know what degree we're looking for. So because I guess we'll start with 90. If I'm looking for the sine of 90 degrees, I'm basically looking for y over r. Well, the y coordinate at 90 degrees is 1. And the radius is 1. So 1 divided by 1 is 1. So the sine of 90 degrees is equal to 1. You can actually verify that here by taking the sine of 90 degrees, and when I hit equals, I do get 1, and that's where it comes from. It comes from the fact that the ratio is y over r, and we just substitute those values in for our 90 degree coordinate. Now remember, the y value is here, so we need the 1, and the radius is 1 because it's on the unit circle. If I wanted to do the sine of 180 degrees, I would do y over r. Well, my y coordinate is 0, and my radius is still 1, and 0 divided by 1 is 0. So the sine of 180 is 0. When you look at this and you do sine of 180, you get 0, and that's where it comes from, this ratio right here. If I do the sine of 270, y over r. So my y is -1. -1 over 1 is -1. So the sine of 270 is -1. Again, taking that ratio and double checking. Yes, Miss Milburn knows what she's talking about. Now 0 and 360 live in the same place, so you can use this coordinate. And the same thing happens if I take sine of 360 or the sine of 0. It's going to be 0 over 1, which is 0. And these represent our values for sine. So to find sine, we did y over r for our unit circle. Again, r is 1 because it's on the physical circle itself. Now what we're going to do is take a look at cosine. I'm not going to do all of these. I just wanted to give you the how-to so you can develop this on your own and make sure that you're comfortable. So for cosine, if I'm looking for cosine theta, I'm going to use the relationship of x over r. That's my formula or my ratio for cosine. Because my radius is 1, I'm literally looking for my x coordinates here. So cosine is x over 1, which makes it just x. So the cosine of 90 is x over r, which is 0 over 1, which is 0. Cosine of 180 would be -1 over 1. which is -1. So that's how you get these values. You're literally looking for the x or the y coordinate, and the radius is 1. So you should be able to fill in the rest of these for cosine. And then tangent is y over x. Okay? So when we're doing tangent, things are a little bit different. We're going to do tangent over here. Okay? For tangent function, let me get a good color. When I do y over x and I do tangent of 0 degrees, I'm going to do the y coordinate divided by the x coordinate. So that's 0 divided by 1. Well, 0 divided by 1 is 0, so that's pretty easy. But when I do tangent of 90, that's y over x. I get 1 divided by 0. And remember that when we divide by 0, that is undefined. This is an undefined answer. So you can write 0 with a line through it or put UNDEF, undefined. There's no answer for this. It's undefined because you're dividing by 0. So for tangent, you're either going to get a 0 for an answer or you're going to get undefined for an answer. You take your y coordinate and divide by your x coordinate.